This is question number 2 on the November 2013 higher non-calculator paper. And when you come to this question, it should be pretty obvious that this question is about scatter graphs. So read through the question. That's really important. Start from the beginning and read through before you start putting pen to paper. A publisher checks the documents for errors. He records the number of documents that are checked each day and also the total number of errors in the documents each day. The scatter graph shows this information. So the total number of errors, the number of documents checked. On another day, 90 documents are checked. There's a total of 17 errors. Show this information on the scatter graph. So this is the first bit, and in the mark scheme, the examiners indicated that a lot of people missed out this question, or missed out this bit. They just read through and they went straight, they didn't even read through, they went straight to answering bits of the question and forgot about this 1 mark bit. And this is really important that you get it. So 90 documents are checked, 17 errors. They basically want us to put a cross on the diagram for part A. That's what I need to do, show this information on the scatter graph. So 90 documents, number of documents is this axis here. 90 is going to be over there. I'm just going to put a little label for it. And then 17 errors. Now, it's important that we are actually okay with what scale is being used here. So that's 15 to 20. So this gap, this space, stands for 5 errors. Okay, so the 10 tiny spaces, so every 2 space stands for 1, so that's going to be 16, and that one there is going to be 17. So for 17, I need to go along this line here. I'm going to use my ruler because it is really important that you are accurate when you're putting your cross, because you're not going to get the mark if it's in the wrong space. Even if it's very close to it, you're not going to get the mark. So that cross there will get me my mark for part A. Going on to part B, describe the correlation between the number of documents checked and the total number of errors. And it is really important here that you indicate that it's a positive correlation, right? So positive correlation, and if I just move this up a bit so you could see the answer space. Okay, so we've got the scatter graph, and in part B, describe the correlation between the number of documents checked and the total number of errors. It's a positive correlation. So there's a positive correlation between those because, as you can see, it is actually tending upwards. There are a couple of points which are further out, but those are pretty much outliers. And you can see that most of them seem to line up over there. And I'm going to draw my line of best fit in a bit for part C when we get to doing that part. So if we get to part C says, one day 110 documents are checked. Estimate the number of errors in these documents. Now it is really important that before you attempt this, before you attempt reading off this scatter graph, right, that you draw a line of best fit. For that you need a ruler and a pencil, really important, and then you basically need to move your ruler around, try to get a line where you have about the same number of points above and below it, about the same number going through the center of most of the data. It doesn't need to go through this bit here, it doesn't have to go through this bit here, it needs to go through about the center of most of the data. So most of the points seem to be around there, and I'm going to draw my line of best fit going through there. Draw a neat straight line, single line going through most of the points. Okay, at that stage, what I need to do is to start reading off this for this information. They said that one day 110 documents are checked. So for 110, I'm going to go to that point on the axes. That's 110, and I'm going to draw a line up and across and take a reading. Now there's always a range of answers here because the line of best fit wouldn't always be the same exact line. So different people might have different lines of best fit. However, it is really important, therefore, that you draw the line of best fit and you draw these guidelines to indicate how you've read off your value. If you don't do that, you're liable not to get full marks. And again, it is really important that you do so. So the answer is this value over here. Now remember earlier we said 2 squares or 2 spaces on this axis stand for 1 unit. So 1 below 20, which is 19. So in my answer space, an estimate for the total number of errors in these documents, in 110 documents, is going to be 19. And that's my answer for part C. So make sure for this particular question, you draw in a line of best fit, and you draw these guidelines to show how you've taken your reading, and you'll get full marks. This very, very standard question comes up very often, and you should be able to get full marks in it.